Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this Monday morning with Business Coach Moloy. A new Monday, and we continue with our sales series. For people who don't know me, uh, I'm the founder of Beyond Red Ocean Consulting. We are a certified business coach from Action Coach. For the past 7 years, we have been working with clients all over, family businesses primarily, all over the country and abroad, into helping them structure their businesses with systems, processes, sales, and in many cases, succession planning. And I've been doing this Facebook Live for the past now nearly 3 years. And over the past many weeks, we have been focusing on sales. And today we are going to explore a topic that even senior entrepreneurs appreciate very differently from young founders: the idea of market share. What we're going to talk about is not a dry academic textbook style, but in a way that makes absolute real world sense. Because you're in the real world, you're not looking. If you wanted to read a textbook, there's Philip Kotler out there. If you wanted to look at YouTube videos on how to increase market share, it's all there out there. But I'm going to talk about the real world sense, something you can apply to your business the moment the session ends. Because market share is just not a percentage. It's not a revenue figure divided by some industry report. Market share is a mirror. It reflects what the market truly thinks of you. Now, what you think about your business, not what you think your team thinks about your business, not what your website claims, but what the market, the correct collective intelligence of thousands of buyers who can actually buy from you and use your services or product actually believe about your value, your relevance, your reliability, and your importance. So let's begin at the foundation. Many businesses unfortunately measure the wrong things. They measure revenue, they measure profit, they measure production capacity, they measure collections, they measure expenses, but very few measure whether the business is actually becoming more important in the market or less important over time. And that is what market share tells you. You could have your best revenue year, and yes, you could be losing market share. You could have your worst revenue year, and you could actually be gaining market share. Revenue tells you how you are doing. Market share tells you how your industry is doing and how do you compare. And let me explain this slowly. The way I would explain if I was sitting with you together over a cup of coffee. Let's say your revenue grows by 20% this year. You feel good. You celebrate. You call it growth. But what if your industry grew by 40%? Suddenly that 20% is no growth at all. It is in fact a decline. You grew, yes, but others grew faster, which means your importance in the market has reduced. The pie has increased, but your slice didn't grow at the same pace. On the other hand, imagine your revenue grew only by 5%, not a great year according to your books of account. But what if your industry declined by 10%? Suddenly, your 5% is not small, it's a sign of your strength, stability, and competitive advantage. While others have struggled, you expanded your share in the market. This is the magic of understanding market share. It removes illusions, it forces clarity, it demands honesty, and it gives you the truth. And senior entrepreneurs know something that younger founders don't. Truth is far more valuable than comfort. Now, the moment you start thinking in terms of market share, your questions change. You stop asking how much did we sell this quarter. You start asking how much of the market did we capture this quarter. You stop asking are we growing, and you start asking are we growing faster than or slower than competition. You stop saying we acquired 50 new customers, and you start saying, did we become more essential in our category? Let me take you deeper. Every product category has a fixed amount of business available, a total demand. Some industries grow slowly, some fast, some fluctuate. But any moment there is a fixed quantity of business waiting to be captured. And whether you like it or not, you're fighting for a share of that. You're fighting for that pie. Sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. And here's where the insight becomes interesting. Your revenue grew from two places: customers who bought from you and customers who did not buy from you. The ones who bought from you are your real strengths. The ones that didn't buy from you reveal your future opportunities. Market share thinking forces you to stop obsessing only about your deals you won and start learning from the deals you didn't. Ask yourself honestly, how many times has another supplier been chosen even though you knew your product is better? How many times has a customer reduced their share of business with you without a fight? How many old customers have actually split their orders between you and someone new? How many new inquiries did not convert? Not because you were bad, but because you were not their first choice. And every no that you say, and every maybe that you say, and every time you hear not this time, all of it shapes your market share. Now, I want you to address something before we go deeper. Many senior entrepreneurs don't calculate market share because they think it's a complex research, external agencies, extensive reports, complicated methodologies. But the truth is far simpler. You don't need exact precision. Don't look at perfection. You need a realistic, practical estimate. And you can get that estimate from basic logical thinking. You already know roughly how big your category in your city is. You know how the major buyers exist. You know the average buying behavior. You know how the big players are. You know their approximate volumes. If you just sit down for 2 hours with a blank piece of paper and a calm mind, you can sketch a fairly accurate picture of your market. And the moment you do this, ladies and gentlemen, something powerful happens. Your mind becomes sharper, your priorities become different, you stop celebrating small wins because they feel good, and you start focusing on the real battle, something a bigger force in your category. Market share is not lost overnight. Market share slowly erodes, quietly, silently, through everyday behaviors of your team. A delayed follow up, a confused quotation, not wanting to go out and make that sales call, a slow response to your customer's urgent request, a delivery that came late without explanation, a salesperson who lacked energy in a meeting, a team member who treated complaint as a disturbance. Every small behavior shapes perception, and perception shapes preference. And the preference shapes market share. Market share is not a battlefield, it's a sum of the hundreds of tiny decisions made by the customers over years. And the biggest driver of this business is not the price that you sell at, it's the trust. If the customers trust you more than your competitors, your market share automatically rises. If your customers trust your competitors more than you, your market share automatically declines. It is as simple as that. A customer may try a new supplier because of price, but they'll only stay with someone because of confidence. The cheapest supplier can win the first order. The most reliable supplier wins the second, the third, the fifth, and the 10th. Market share is not about attraction, it's about retention, consistency, and reliability. And here's why I say that improving market share is just not a sales activity, it's an organization behavior. Let's talk about your sales team. Because they hold the front line in your battle. Your sales team is just not selling a product. They're shaping perception. They're influencing preference. They're building confidence. They're carrying your brand energy into the market. If your sales team communicates confidently, customers trust your capability. If your sales team is confused, the customer assumes the business is confused. If your sales team delays follow-up, the customer assumes your delivery will be delayed. If your sales team is unclear about your USP, the customer assumes you don't have a USP. Sales representation is market share representation. That is why improving market share does not begin with marketing campaigns or price drop. It begins with clarity, clarity in communication, clarity in differentiation, clarity in customer understanding, and clarity on why the market should choose you. Now, let's address something more important, ladies and gentlemen. Many entrepreneurs believe market share grows only when you win new customers, but mature entrepreneurs know that a huge portion of their market share growth comes from increasing the share of business from your existing customers. Think about it. If a customer is buying from three vendors and you become their most trusted vendor, you automatically grow without acquiring a single new client. And this growth is the healthiest kind of growth because it's built on trust and not on acquisition cost. Market share grows when you become the default choice, the go-to partner, the first phone call, the supplier your customer doesn't want to replace because replacing you would increase their mental load. Market share grows when you make your customer's life easier, not cheaper. And this is where real opportunity lies. I want you to think of your industry like a large field of opportunities. Some companies run fast, some run slow, some run in circles, and some don't even know why they are in the race. Only a handful companies consistently capture more and more space in the field, not because they're the smartest or the richest, but because they are the most consistent, the most reliable, the most trusted. Market share is simply the scoreboard of trust. And as we wrap up today, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to leave with a reflective question that senior entrepreneurs will appreciate. What percentage of the business I should be getting, and what am I actually getting? Not the business you hope for, not the business you dream about, but the business you earn through behavior, clarity, and consistency. Your potential market share is the business you could get if your company functioned at its best. The actual market share is what you're getting today. The gap between these two is your growth path. Let me share another thought before I go that I know will resonate with you. The real competition is never the player across the street. The real competition is the gap between what your business is today and what it could become tomorrow. That is the gap that as entrepreneurs, we should always be thinking about. That's the gap that we should go out and talk to our team members and talk to them that how can we bridge that gap. I am not fighting with anybody else. I am only trying to see what best I can do for my organization in this current scenario. Next week, we are going to talk about something closely related. Building a high performance sales pipeline that converts consistently, predictably, and without stress. Because once you understand market share, the next question comes, how do we build a pipeline that supports it? Thank you so much for being with me today on this Monday morning, on the chilly Monday morning across the country. But if you look at the last few episodes, and everything is there on the YouTube channels. If you look at the last few episodes, you will realize what's the huge opportunity that lies in front of us. It's only about structuring that opportunity and driving growth forward. Till next Monday, same place, same time. Have a great Monday morning. Have a great week. And I shall see you on the other side on the 26th of January, Republic Day. But I'll be there for you. You better be there, tuned in on the Facebook Live. Thank you so much.